I would say there is a misconception about because the Bible says the man is the head. And people didn't realize that. I realized that now we have technology. If you take a Greek Bible, Bible to see in the same verse that he said the man is the head, the Greek word for the head is kephale. Kephale means, for example, if you see, I know it in French, but you speak French?
Yeah.
For example, if you see a statue, par exemple, si tu vois une statue qui est sans tête, on l'appelle statue acéphale. C'est-à-dire parce que cette statue n'a pas de tête.
So what he's saying is that a statue, when you see a statue that doesn't have a head, it's called
acéphale.
Acéphale.
But this is the French word acéphale that really close to the Greek word kephale. So it's the same thing like the statue, or it's like a monster because it doesn't have a head. So a home that doesn't have a head, it's like a monster. So when you said the man is the chief, or whatever, when he said in the Bible, it doesn't mean that the man means he's with a rod, and you know what? If you don't do this, if you don't do that, no, he's the head, and there must be the head. There must be a head in every home. So the head needs to be the man. So it doesn't mean that the man needs to do. This is vibe. No, he's the head. This is the order. This is the command of Jesus. So he's the head. Now, to submit for me. Both of them have to submit. The man have to submit to his wife. He doesn't submit to his wife as a witness, but he submit to her lead. But she had to submit to his lead. So I don't know. You see, maybe you don't have. Are you agree? Okay.
Yeah.
Say one more time.
He submits to her needs, and he submits. She submits to his needs. Does that make sense?
This is what I do.
Okay, so let me add to that. I believe the role of the man is more difficult. Okay, so the Bible says the man. Okay, so let me first of all go outside the Bible. There's a leader, a pastor who teaches on leadership. I love one of the things he says. His name is John Maxwell, and he said the success or the failure of any group of people depends solely on the leader. So in other words, if a group is successful, it's the leader. If a group fails, it's the leader. So when they say you're the head of the home, if there's divorce in your home, whose fault is it? The man. If your home is happy, whose fault is it? It's the man. That's what it means to be the head. If there's praise in your home, if your home is hell, it's your fault. If your home is heaven, it's your fault. As the head, that's what it means. Okay, now let me now bring in the Bible. It says, husbands, love your wife as Christ loved the church and gave his life for her. So as the head of the house, it is your responsibility to be ready to die for your wife. Okay, so now when you bring all of that into the equation, what does it mean to be the head? To be the head means that you look out for those that are under you and bring out what is best in them and create the atmosphere that is most conducive for them to thrive. That doesn't mean that you are supposed to be there and lording it over them, because if you are lording it over them, they're not going to thrive. So, being the head is being the one who is responsible. Now, God takes it a step further in the book of Peter, and he says, husbands, treat your wife delicately, because if you don't, I'm paraphrasing the passage, I will not hear your praise. So, first of all, let's look at it. I've not read anything like that in the Bible concerning women. Nowhere. You know, that, oh, if you don't treat your husband well, I will listen to your prayer. They have not read it in the Bible. But I've read it concerning the husband. If you do not treat your wife well, you can fast and pray, you can roll around on the ground. God is going to say, go treat your wife well before I listen to you. It's not my word, it's the word of God. So, when I say I think it's more difficult for the men, I come from there. And then for the woman, it says submit. But it's not just women submit to your husband, but husbands also submit to your wife. So, first of all, we have to take the lead. We do all these responsibilities, and then we need to submit to our wife as our wife submits to us. Submit means I give up my authority to you. I give up my rights to you. I release it into your control. That's what it means to submit. If you submit your car to me, I can drive it, I can stay the way I want to stay. But the submission works both ways. Now, the next question that might come out is, so what if I'm submitting to my husband and my husband is the devil's younger brother? What do I do? It depends on what he's doing, but also remember one thing. This is one thing I live my married life with. When I get to heaven, God is going to ask me, how did you treat your wife? I cannot give an excuse and say, God, my wife did not treat me well, so I did this. God will say, thank you for, I'll take note of that. Okay, did you do what I told you to do? That's all. If the answer is no, there's no reason that if the answer is no. So I still need to submit to my wife, whether she's submissive to me or not. I still need to lead my wife aright, whether she submits to me or not. Now that doesn't mean I'm going to take abuse from my wife. And there are things I can do to ensure there's no abuse, and that's a different topic altogether.
That's why before you get married, that's where you do the work. That's where you do the work. Because the Bible says that the woman should respect her husband. For a woman, love comes easy. It comes natural. We love. Respect, on the other hand, is very difficult for us. But then the husband is commanded to love his wife, because that is more difficult for them. If your husband is loving you, show me the woman that has a problem submitting to love. And if they are loving you as Christ loved the church, hey, there's no issues there. Now, this is the reason why you do the work before you don't dive in and then try to figure out the mud. Right? Because you have to remember what you're agreeing to. Counsel, godly counsel, and more counsel. I cannot emphasize that enough. And just to add to the whole financial situation, we're not islands. We are not islands. So when a couple comes together, they're not an island. And if you are getting together with your intended partner and thinking you're an island, stop. We have a problem. It's a union of families that comes together and that helps to create a support system that sustains you through the storm. So if you think, well, no, he treats me, I know he's like that with his mom or with his sister, but he won't be like that to me. You're wrong. So it's those kinds of things where we put our little blinders on and think that we're different, and it will never come our way. No, it will come your way. It will come your way all the time. You know? So, again, I cannot emphasize it enough.
Concerning this one person, I want to say something. Marriage will bring out the best in your partner, but you also bring out the worst in your partner. So this person might be stubborn because of the atmosphere you are creating. So maybe you need to stop, maybe you need to change the atmosphere so that she stops being stubborn. And therefore, she becomes more conducive. So a simple answer is yes, a stubborn person is foolish, but we need to go a little bit deeper. Has she always been stubborn? Did the stubbornness come to life after I do know what is going on? But when in a marriage, when you begin to go me versus you've already started breaking the marriage. One of the things I say to people is your union should always be your focus. And when somebody is stubborn, they are no longer focused on the union, they are focused on themselves, which means they are already destroying the marriage. Some people make the mistake of looking for all the exact qualities. I look for potentials. Because even the things I desire today are different from what I desired 15 years ago. I'm going to change, the person is going to change. So look for the potentials and see that this person is walking in that direction, and that's what you need. So prepare yourself by putting yourself in the state of being the person that somebody that will be a blessing to somebody when you come together. How do you find somebody? Know your purpose, be going in your purpose, and look for somebody that is going in the same purpose. A beautiful lady that is going in a different purpose is not your wife. And no matter how beautiful she is, no matter how much she speaks in tongues, and no matter how many people she has led to Christ, it doesn't matter. If she's going in the opposite direction, she's not yours. If she's going in a different direction, she's still not yours. You want somebody, God has called you to be an evangelist, and God has called this person to sit down. So God has called you to be a missionary to China. And God has called the person you are loving to be a pastor in Ottawa. How are you going to make it work? It's not going to work. Yeah, a pastor in Ottawa, you need to be together. So, there are exceptions. People are going to say, but God can. The norm, I'm just talking about the norm. Yeah, a lot of times we put ourselves in the 1%. If you're the 1%, God will speak to everybody will know about it, which is what I said, have good counsel around you. But prepare yourself, find somebody that's going in the same direction as you are, be in connection with God. That's how you prepare yourself.
I heard a recent term, shoving the Bible down people's throat. Maybe not a better word, but wow. So like people in the world are already irritated by Christians, But at the same time, I think there needs to be balance in that. Because I think it's easy for someone to kind of just be like, to use it as an excuse, like it's not, I don't need to not see it as their responsibility to still be light, to still be an impact. I think that there's a problem if you're going for long periods of time, personally, and the people around you are not being effective in terms of seeing the light of Jesus Christ. I still think there should be a desire to want to share Christ with people. The way I see it is people are going to hell. That's a big problem, right? So I still think there should be more of, I'm trying to find a way to word it. We can't get too comfortable and, I have Christ, and good for me. And meanwhile, all your coworkers are going to hell, I think that's the only thing that I've kind of noticed is people saying, well, I don't want to throw it down people's throat, I don't want to do that. But then, having a strategy to still make that impact and to win is